Hey, it is Wednesday the 5th. Had a great 4th of July in Reno. It's 3:30 now. And I don't know, I think we're down about 15, 16 miles today, something like that. And we've got some dry trail right now. And actually, a remarkably beautiful view. It's a little windy up here. I was contemplating waiting on this, but just wanted to get the camera on it if I could. So I'll take a look back at this later, and if it's too windy, we won't do this again. But for right now, we're gonna roll with it. So 4th of July was great in Reno. Aaron, if you listen to this, thank you so much for your hospitality, for everything. It was wonderful. We got a full service treatment. We got picked up at the trailhead at the prescribed time. She was even early, and took us back to her house, and showers, laundry, chauffeur for town food and stuff. Everything was absolutely wonderful. So Aaron, thank you again. And yeah, it was really nice. It was nice to get off trail for the 4th of July, to be able to spend it with some people that I know, that I love, and that sort of thing. So that was a lot of fun. And then really, I was talking with Beach about it too. About halfway through the day on the 4th, I was starting to feel like ready to get back out on trail. Normally, it's closer to when we're getting back on trail than that. Not to say that I didn't enjoy the time. I absolutely did, and we needed it. But you kind of get in tune with your body out here, and kind of feel when it's like, you feel good. You feel like you're ready to move. And I think that was probably mostly because the town chores were just so easy, with Aaron driving us around. Normally, seems like the first half of your quote-unquote rest day, you're running around doing a whole bunch of stuff. Anyway, so it was a great couple of days. Glad to be back on trail. Met a couple of hikers this morning that had also gone through the Sierras, so that was cool. Was expecting to see a lot of people who had skipped up, and we saw a couple of hikers who had done the Sierras instead, and that's the only people we've seen so far. So we shall see who we meet ahead. They were going a little bit slower. Both of them had kind of some nagging injuries that they were trying to nurse. They were part of one of the bigger groups up ahead, and they had split off and were doing a little bit lower mileage, getting over some injuries, kind of resting on trail, so to speak, as much as you can out here. But word on the street is we're pretty much out of the snow. We're going to have a little bit probably on and off here the next couple of miles, and then we're going to drop down to a lower elevation. We're going to decline for about 8 miles straight. Not a huge decline, like not real steep, but just long, get us down a couple thousand feet. And after that, we hopefully won't see much snow. I guess there's some, like a 7-mile stretch up by Sierra City that has some, so we might run into a little bit, but the vast majority of it should be behind us, which is good, because I sent home my spikes, my axe, my puffy, and my long john, so pretty much all my winter gear. Meant to send home my gloves, but I forgot. They're only 2.5 ounces, so no big deal. Next time I send something, they'll go in it too. But yeah, dropping down to lower elevations, didn't see as cold the temperatures, at least not until Washington anyway. And so we can lighten up the pack a bit. Speaking of the pack, this is an REI Flash 55 that I bought in Reno. Mine was toast. It was coming apart where the hip belt holds on, and was not wanting to carry my entire pack load directly on my shoulders, especially with a framed pack that's not designed for that, for an entire stretch. So we got rid of it. Worked with Osprey. They were great. They're sending a new backpack for me to Quincy. I'll send this one back home, decide what I'm going to do with it later. Can resell it. I could return it through REI. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I needed a temporary pack, and this one fit the bill. And it's not too bad. It's pretty comfy. The only complaint I have the small hip belt on it, because the large I could barely cinch down tight enough at all. But the padding in the very front is kind of not rubbing, but pushing into a little bit the top of my iliac crest. So comfort, that's the only thing that I can knock it on right there. But other than that, and that's a mild discomfort that I'll probably get used to, but other than that, it's remarkably comfortable. Love the pockets, love the features. Weight's pretty comparable to what I had, honestly. The thought ran through my head to just send the brand new Osprey bag back home and run with this, but I like the Access better, so I'll swap back out, send this one home, and figure it out once I'm off trail what to do with it. But yeah, things are looking pretty good. I think we're going to try to do a pretty big day today, hike a little bit later. If the trail stays clear, then we're probably going to be good to do that. If not, then we might not be able to. But there's kind of a big day or short day option, but no medium day. And what I mean by that is there's a place to camp, I think about 19 miles from where we started. But we really don't want to be doing days under 20 anymore now that we're north of the Sierras, unless it's like a rest day. So we're going to try to go for another campground that's 7 miles from there, 7 or 8 miles. So that'd put us at, 27-ish miles, 26, 27, which is a big day for having snow involved and having a late start. But we're coming off a rest. We don't have to get started super early tomorrow if we don't want to. We don't have to worry about the snow conditions anymore, so we can kind of wake up when we want, as long as we're getting the miles in that we need. So a little bit bigger day today, I think, is the game plan. But who knows, we might find a camping spot before we get 27 miles in that looks good. But we're going to aim for a minimum of 22 and then find a good spot to camp after that. So yeah, everything's on the up and up. Me and Beach back on the trail, and next stop is Quincy. That's 3.5 days. I should know this. 4.5 days. 4.5 days. So we should be there Sunday. But we'll see. We might get there early. Early would be okay. Only logistically, I'm currently working with one of the PCT Trail Angel groups, and found somebody that I think is going to be able to ship my backpack out for me. Osprey said mine should be there in time, which is great, but post office open Monday through Friday. Didn't work out great timing wise with me getting there on the weekend, but worst case scenario, I stay in Quincy for a day and then do big days once I get back out on trail. So, there's a plan B for everything, and we're kind of figuring this out as we go along. You kind of got to roll with the punches, but overall, things are looking up and up. It was kind of fun talking with a couple other hikers who had been through the Sierras. We hiked a couple miles with them, and it was kind of fun just kind of trading experiences, talking about, the Sierras and the 2023 year and all the craziness going on. So kind of good to get that in there. But that is it for now. We are back on snow, so I'm going to let you go anyways. But hopefully it's not for long. That's what the trail report says, uphill, or up trail. We'll see. Until next time. Good morning. It is Thursday, July 6th, 6:30 in the morning. And we're up and moving. We got some dry trail in front of us. Feels pretty good. There's a little pond over there, lake maybe. Not sure if you can see it. This morning's been really pleasant so far. Dry trail always feels good. Honestly, I've been zooming a little bit. Feels good to have some dry, clear trail in front of you and just stretch the legs, enjoy the view, enjoy the walk. Been going through forest just like this. No real breathtaking views, but just nice and pleasant being out in nature. Yeah, so yesterday ended up doing 26 miles. Took us right around 12 hours to do that. Hiked from about 7:30 to 7, so a little under 12 hours. And we took it easy for a bit in the morning. Started late, 7:30 obviously. A couple hours later than I started this morning. When we met those couple of hikers, ended up talking with them for quite a while. So that ended up taking some time. Hoping that we hike our first 30-mile day today. We'll see, but we talked about it a bit yesterday. It should be mostly dry trail today. There was some talk of a few mile stretch right around Sierra City that had some snow, but that's the last longer continuous bit. So we'll see how bad that is. I don't expect it to slow us down much, but maybe a little bit. But we'll see. Got a nice early fast start. Stayed at a actual campground last night, right on a lake. We're hoping for a nice view of the sunset with the lake being to our west. That did not happen. There were trees and stuff in between us and the lake. Couldn't really see it. But did make for a nice flat spot. We had a picnic table. There were toilets that unfortunately were locked, but nonetheless, nice place to sleep. Just a couple of tenths of a mile off of the trail. So got started this morning about 5:10, but probably wasn't back on trail until closer to 5:20, 5:30. But either way, I think I've been averaging over 3 miles an hour for the first hour, hour and a half, which is good because I'm probably knocked out about 3 or 4 miles. And now we've got 8-mile descent down the mountain to a road that goes to Sierra City that we will not be taking. We're not resupplying there. But after that is an 8-mile climb. So 8 miles down, 8 miles up, 7 skinny cows, 7 fat cows, 7 years of drought. No, that's not what's happening here. But yeah, so part of the reason for trying to beat feet in the morning is to get to that climb before the heat of the day. If I can continue to average the speed I've been averaging, which I think I can for the next 8 miles while we're going downhill, I'll get there about 9 o'clock, which isn't bad. But it is probably going to be about a 3 or 4 hour climb. So by the time I get to the top of it, it's going to be pretty toasty. But that's the way she goes. Forgot to yesterday talk about my shoes. I want to give a big thanks to my mama. She bought me the pair of shoes I'm wearing right now as a birthday present. And a big thank you for that, for her and to Paul. So there they are, Ultra Lone Peak 7s. They're not the exact shoe that I was hoping to get, but could not find any Topo Terra Ventures or Ultra Ventures or Ultra Venture Pros in the Reno area with my size in stock. So Lone Peaks it is. I've used Lone Peaks before. Biggest thing I'm nervous about is the cushion. We're going to be increasing mileage, and these have a little bit less cushion than what I'm used to. And the foam's a little bit more malleable. You get a little bit more foot feel of what's going on the trail, which is not a bad thing if you're hiking smaller miles, but the bigger miles I'm a little bit worried about, just foot fatigue. I don't think there's any danger of real legitimate injury with that, just might be a little bit tender in the foot for a little while as my feet adjust. But overall, these shoes are remarkably comfortable, and that's what I remember from them. I've got a pair of Lone Peak 5s, so a couple versions ago, still at the house, and I love them for day hikes and stuff like that. So I think they'll be great. I think they'll work. I hope so, because they're on my feet and we're walking. So, so far so good though, in all honesty. So, yeah, that's about it. Exciting times. We are finally, it feels like, legitimately out of the snow. So yeah. So we'll see. Gonna try and hit 30 today. Not sure if that's gonna be a regular thing. I know we're gonna be doing bigger miles than what we were doing in the Sierras, probably bigger than what we were doing in the desert. But 30 is still a big day. Want to be able to, hit those when we need to, 30, 35, a couple times a week when you want to do a big day. But I don't think I need to do those every single day. That's a lot of hiking. And also, in order to get to Canada in the time frame that I'm hoping, I just need to average about 22 miles a day, and that's including zeros. So moving days need to be substantially higher than 22, but we don't take a ton of rest days. I think if I average 25 to 28, probably 26 to 28 on moving days, I think we'll be able to hit our goal. And honestly, like, that's a goal because it'd be convenient, but as far as danger of not being able to finish the hike, I'd really like to finish early in September, but middle of September and even all the way through the end of September to October 1 is normally pretty safe. But the earlier the better, in my opinion, because then you're not rolling the dice so much. So, but anyways, this is our climb. Got a nice little view. There's Beached up there. He's a little bit behind me. Not a bad day. All right, until next time.